What up, peers? Welcome to the R.E.P. or shall I say konnichiwa, the entrance of the famous Osaka Tower. Wow, look at this tower. This is the famous. Typically speaking, I was wanting to use my camera, but because it's raining, we'll just have to improvise in an opposite manner. Supposedly hearing that the weather was supposed to be better, but fortunately, it's just the timing of the way how it is. I was just hearing the little rule on the overhead. As you can hear, that's the overhead. But on the 3rd and 4th floor, we're not supposed to be filming when we're inside. Oh my good lord. I mean, look at this. It is literally downpouring. This rain is just making me more miserable, and I think a lot of other people feeling the same way, almost if you are an active runner. In this area, there's actually a running club where they take different courses and then they are actually, running like as if they're preparing for a marathon. We also couldn't go inside. The line to get inside to the castle was really long. I really wish I had, left much more earlier. I guess I wish I had known if it really was going to rain this badly, and then maybe just doing something simple like going to a nice restaurant or a cafe, laying down for a little bit. Now that I'm inside of a shaded zone, it feels better, but the thing is it's still raining. And down over in that end where if you hear the noise is where a festival's happening. The real interesting story is that when I was trying to get here, the thing is when I was at the station, it was very confusing. I didn't realize like which line was to which, because apparently it was called Osaka counterclockwise, but it's also the loop line where you go the other direction. So I said, okay, you know what? I thought I had it confidently, in here, but really I was just being more foolish to not realize what it really was supposed to be. Then I realized this is where it was. I did ask a couple people to make sure if we were in the right area, and it turns out I was actually the whole time. The best thing to do is to study your geography very carefully, and don't be afraid to ask very detailed questions of like which one to get on, which one to go, because it's very confusing here. Nice refreshing soup right now. So there's rice, there's vegetables, the fish, and then there's the lemon, and that's the saucing, and then the miso soup, okra, and then there's pineapple. Time at the restaurant having lunch was a little bit of a better experience. Unfortunate, but also it's just not really pleasant when you want to try to go see something and it requires to walk miles, just to get somewhere. And then when it's raining, it just feels like it just puts a damper. Oh man, people are still out here. It's like no one's out here unless they have an umbrella. Nice view out here. And apparently there's some event happening down over there. But honestly, I'm a bit too tired and I want to just head back to the hotel to rest, and maybe hopefully when time passes, at least this rain will stop. The rain has finally stopped, and it is just in the humid side. We just came down from the underground, and I just know that if I were to return back to the hotel, I'd probably be very tired and probably either conk out or just like fall asleep and then go back out again and then be more tired from it. So the crowd is a little bit easier to handle right now than compared to what it was like last night. For those we're just walking through this little alleyway and it feels like I'm in a movie right now. Like the vibe of midnight diners is what you would say. Just walking.
Now
that we're back on the river walk, we're actually gonna be hopping on a boat because we got a ticket for the yellow boat, and then we should be boarding in probably about 15 to 20 minutes. I feel that the rain is slowly coming back right now, and I'm just feeling like, oh great, I thought this rain would have been over, and now it's back. So we just hopped into this boat, and the lady up in the front with the uniform was just going over with us about the rules of what to do. And
ください。またノースタンディング、ノーダイビングと書いてありますがね、ノースタンディングはもうほんと立たないでねということで、ノーダイビングですね。自分が飛び込むことはなくてもね、お帽子とかね、なんか飛ばされたらね、大変です。落ちてしまったらね、ちょっとよく見てもらうと川はね、あまり綺麗でないですし、手は上げないよっていうのと、ローブリッジ、とっても低い橋があるからね、そちらも皆さん手を上げずに安全にお過ごしください。お願いします。周りに手を振って行ってきます。いってらっしゃい。素晴らしい。もうこれでねミッションクリアです。あとは何人お友達が増えるかというところになりますからね、メニーフレンズ、メイクアフレンズしていってください。さあ、そしてミッション2でございます。2つ目のミッションとしましては、まず行ってきます。いってらっしゃい。バイバーイ。落としちゃうと大変ですからね、もうノーダイビングさせないようにというところと、ノーアンブレラ、そしてねちょっとねお船が近くでいたみたいで、波がちょっとこっちまで寄ってきたそうです。というのもです、忘れてましたがお伝えですね。こちら1つ目、ナンバーワンブリッジ、日本橋、はい、読み方の橋があります。元のルート戻ってまいりますが、続いてまた橋が見えるので、ちょっとクイズにしたいと思います。どうでしょうか、読めそうでしょうか。もしかしたら読みづらいかもしれません。どうでしょうか。さあ、ネクストブリッジ、行ってきます。いってらっしゃい。バイバーイ。ありがとうございます。セカンドフロア、はい、そうです。ありがとうございます。先にもネクストフォトチャンスございますからね、そちらもご利用ください。バイバーイ。さあ、手を振っていたらあっという間にまた橋です。こちらの橋は道頓堀橋と言います。道頓堀橋、こちらの橋ございますね。バイバーイ。ありがとうございます。さあ、続いてちょっとおしゃれな橋、赤と白のコントラストがあって、行ってきます。あちらはジャズクルーズといってね、演奏も楽しんでいただけるお船ですね。仲間のお船です。ますからね。はい、行きますよ。思わず頭。FM 大阪と上。こちらね、すごいずーっと工事をやっているんです。何のための工事かというとね、になったらね、終わるのかな、どんな風になるのかなと日々。ありがとうございます。元気いっぱい振ってもらいました。ずーっとまっすぐ来るとこの辺りやってきます。さあ、また低い橋へ行きますよ。さあ、手を振っているとどうしても手を上げたくなってしまいますが、気をつけて。はい、このカフェですね。こうやって、そうそうそう、ジャパニーズパンケーキ、お好み焼きを作ったり食べたりする道具なの。大きなお兄さんまた迎えてくれましたが、Welcome to 大阪。こちらのお兄さんの前で船長のただね、この辺りの景色なかなか撮ることができませんからね、ぜひお楽しみください。で、サンド、ポーン、オッケー。もう本番になっちゃうからね。
Alright, well, at least that wraps up the tour. It was actually kind of nice to sit down for a little while and just do people watching instead of standing and people watching. So now that I'm back out in the streets again after a much needed rest, and I also want to get into a cleaner shirt after feeling kind of gross and dirty.
Ramen Hallelujah Ramen Hallelujah.
This ramen restaurant right now, and I just bringing some water, and I just ordered some ramen right now. That's what they call as the specialty miso. This is the ramen. Always important to try the soup first. Shonanda. It's very refreshing. Oh. Oh. Yes. Okay. Oh, good. Oh. This picture. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Osu-san. Osu-san.
Sorry, no.
No, 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 no. No, no, no.
Sorry.
Oh, alright.
Sorry.
Oh. Oh my
And
gosh.
we'll spend a few days here, and then we'll go back to Tokyo.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh man.
Did you go to Expo? Did you go to Expo or you just here?
Oh, no, 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 no. I've only been here for like a couple of days.
Okay.
Yesterday was like my real day to like kind of go and see around.
Yeah.
And get used to this area. And then,
Anything you recommend?
oh, well, gosh, you know, are you staying around here?
Yeah, I'm really close.
Today we went to the castle, but we couldn't go in the castle because it was just, well, it was downpouring.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I know, I saw it was raining.
I know.
Has it been raining the whole time you've been here?
No, today's the first day of rain, and then yesterday was like summer weather.
In Tokyo, we got rain the last 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
So it wasn't as bad as it was today, but it was.
And then yesterday was like real hot. What's up, little man?
Yeah, it's much more humid here in Tokyo. At least I feel
Oh, that's so. Isn't that such a weird feeling? Is when you go to another city, it's like really cold. You go to another city, and it's like really cold.
Yeah. Much more humid it seems.
I know. Trying to navigate, you know, weird zones.
Travel agent.
No, well, I deliver groceries.
Oh,
Do you have connections here in town, or are you?
No, my wife's Japanese and Mexican.
Who?
My wife is Japanese and Mexican.
Oh.
And we just always wanted to go to Japan.
Oh.
So we're gonna spend 2 weeks out here.
That's good.
Guys, but zero connection. We're just gonna try to figure it all out.
No.
So nice to meet you, man. Good luck on the channel, alright?
It's like another channel up here.
Yeah.
Oh. So that's the logo to look for.
I'm just gonna take a picture of it.
Wi-Fi or?
No, but I have like T-Mobile with me.
Oh, very nice. Is it showing or? No? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's me.
Got you.
Alright.
Alright.
Thank you, brother.
I'll go, alright?
Okay, thank you. 반갑습니다.
Thank you.
Oh. 아리가또.
ありがとうございます。
Hey, 아리가또. Oh, well, that was very filling, and now it's time to open this. Next on our to-do list is that we need to go to a store called Daiso, and I also want to try to find some nice souvenirs to bring back because it's better to go there than to the typical tourist areas like Dotonbori. We are right now, and we need to head up to the next street and take a right. I noticed about Japan, and especially the way how the streets are operating. They operate very differently than what I'm used to. Where I'm walking right now is actually the flow of the traffic versus like if I was walking in that direction, that's the opposite of the direction. And not to mention, their cars, they're all on the right side. Kind of like when you look at European cars, the steering wheels are usually on the right, unless if they're not, it's on the left. Now there's something also I was very happy to, say is that I got to also ride a taxi. I didn't get to ride in the backseat to experience what it's like to the car that opens the door automatically. I was quite surprised as well how cheap the taxi was, because usually, from what I had heard, taxis are actually very expensive. Believe it or not, it was actually like very cheap. It was only 1,700 yen to get me back to my accommodation because I was just very tired and I was like, oh, can't keep doing this anymore. I just want to hurry back. It's also very difficult to find garbage cans because, not to say you can't just throw your garbage away, they don't really just like have garbage cans at like every corner. They dispose their garbage very specifically, but also they don't just like throw it away either, because they have very specific procedures for it. You could also get into trouble if you don't dispose your garbage properly. And it says it says right there, throw away your trash here. I'm gonna throw this in there because I don't. Gosh, I feel bad whoever made this mess here before they left. Gross. Everywhere you go, there's always CCTV in the area, even though it is also safe to go out at night. But hey, when you're working with the public, you just never know who you run into. I've kind of learned to appreciate having CCTV, even though it feels kind of intimidating. But I'm not looking for trouble. I'm just a tourist like everyone else, write all the memories possible, and I am capable of making it. I'm on the other side of the street right now, and apparently it should be just around the corner. Maps does work, but the problem is the coordinates don't always work the best, and it is a little bit faulty. Better to scout the area first without, using Google Maps the whole time, and then use Google Maps afterwards and see where is the exact locations of places that you're trying to find. Cross-reference check. If it's not the right coordinates, then you probably have went the wrong way. If it really is the right coordinates, then I say, okay, well then good for you. I'm glad you got it right. Alright, well this is it. This is the store. And Daiso is apparently up on the 3rd floor, so let's get up there. Well, sadly, on the unfortunate side, they didn't have what I was looking for. It's more for the home goods that people will need in their household and everyday life. Stuff I probably don't really need because I could probably just get it already where I already reside. But now, let's reroute course because I don't want this night to end in a bitter note. Now, get the experience to try different arcades and see which one is better, which not. Give an honest review about what I think about the arcades. I had a sort of an expectation, but also I should not have tried to have high hopes thinking that walking into Daiso was going to be that easy to find what I was looking for. I should have just gone there with an open mind and to say, well, you know what, if it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be. I ended up being a little bit more disappointed that I was going to have to just find it this way. Just glad I didn't try to pay for any typical tourist prices, which would have been much more higher. One question I just want to ask for everyone who's watching this. What is something that made you feel special, brought you pure joy in life? And I mean, what is something that made you feel special and brought you pure joy? It feels kind of bizarre walking through this dark road, and we're about 20 minutes from getting there. I think we might need to reroute it, but I don't like it when maps takes me through these dark alleyways, and when cars pass by at random hours, we have to just get out of the way. Now I'm just kind of in question, thinking to myself, like, who's gonna jump out of the bushes or who's gonna jump out of the walls? I feel like I'm gonna get attacked just walking. But man, at least some of these homes are actually like really nice and like really cute looking. Don't know if I probably want to live here though, because we're right in the heart of the city. To kind of see what it's like for at least a month or two. Because, well, I want to give it a try and just see what happens. Oh, feels so much better now coming out to the main road again and out of that dark alley. And at least it's lit here.
Taito Station number 10.
We finally made it to Taito Station after that very long walk. Ready to capture the excitement of this wonderful arcade. Just got done with filling out a very important form, basically stating that I have authorization to film here, because they don't just let anyone film here. I have to have very special permission. And the form process took quite a while and longer than I anticipated. I had to ask a lot of questions because this is a very awkward process that I had to go through. I had to give them not bank account information, thank God for that, but really just to prove that yes, I am a YouTuber, yes, I am doing this myself, I have good intentions. There we go. One of the top floors of this arcade. We'll just have to kind of see which one to play here. Not sure which one I want to play really. so I know which other game things to play. Definitely now need to get my hearing protection. I'll try to get a taxi before I'll try to get a taxi back. Pokemon. I couldn't know where I was going. I had to use Google Translate pretty much the whole time to try to figure out what was going on. Maybe running battery real low. Oh my goodness, so much is happening in this room. I didn't realize that floor we were just in right there has actually more of these games that I would rather be playing. I definitely wish I could have stayed a little bit longer, especially had I had seen and really had known carefully about where everything was. But I is getting later and later. It's time for me to head back to my accommodation and turn myself in because enough is enough. I will have to wake up real early because we're going to be going to Kyoto. Had I known on that day that it was going to be raining and it was going to be downpouring, I would have rather stayed put instead of trying to go see the Osaka Castle. When it's rain day, it's not really pleasant. I definitely did feel minor disorientation just from transitioning from rain and then stepping into nicer weather once I made it back into Dotonbori and doing that river walk and also that boat ride. Went back to the hotel for a good long rest. Getting around though by foot is definitely not something just that simple as 1, 2, 3. As you could tell, how I was lost like holding my phone like this because navigation is not really that great. A little bit sketched out and kind of spooked walking through the dark alleyways, seeing sketchy businesses that I'm just like, what's going on over there? And I'm not sure really who's trustworthy or not, especially when we're trying to go from point A to point B. Things were better though when I made it to the ramen shop and also once I was at the arcade because I was in much better spirits at that time as well. Had I known that the arcade was going to be like not just skill cranes or like photo booths or just other things all around inside the Taito Station. I would have rather had recon and scouted the area prior and seeing what exactly was around so I know exactly what games to play and also whatever else was to know. Same time of this, my camera battery was already starting to get dropped at that point. And I was looking at the time like, oh dear, I think enough is enough. I still had fun. I definitely would have rather had just scouted the area first before doing any recordings, but also asking the staff more questions.
Now that the massage is finally over, I am now finally going to enjoy this tea.
I've been misread, underestimated, and left behind, but I stayed standing and I know who I am. I travel not to escape, but to expand, to listen deeper than words, to walk into unfamiliar streets with my head high and my instincts sharp. I carry more than a passport, a story, forged in trials, betrayals, and second chances. Where others saw a tourist, I became a witness. Where I felt overlooked, I learned to observe with care. I do not film for approval. I film to remember, honor quiet moments, and document truth with dignity. I know how it feels to be misunderstood, treated like an outsider, even at home. But I kept going, showing up, heart intact, and boundaries firm. I blend in not to hide, but to respect. I move carefully, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. I pack light, but never forget what I've carried inside. Not all scars are visible, and not all journeys are on maps. I vow to be the kind of traveler who doesn't just take from the world, but leaves behind moments of peace, curiosity, and humble strength. I face each day as a mission, not for perfection, but to walk forward as someone who knows I've seen hell and I'm still standing. Wherever I go, I carry the light that saved me.